Hey everybody out there on YouTube land, welcome to my channel, welcome back to my channel if you are a reoccurring subscriber. So what I got going on over here is fixing this crack a little bit, or cracking, that's going on around the output jack of the Epiphone Emperor 2. So you guys are going to cringe when I show you this, or how I'm going to do this, because it's going to be like one of those things where yeah, using power tools on the guitar. So what I've got going on, I've already kind of did a little bit of repair on a couple of them to see how it's going to start off, how it's going to look, how it's going to work. And it seems like the super glue trick is going to work pretty good. At least I'm hoping so. I'm not going to use the lacquer because I did a little test spot on here with the lacquer, and it kind of did a little number as far as lifting up the finish that's already on here. When it started drying, it really didn't dry. It kind of softened the finish up over here. I kind of left it overnight, and it didn't, let's just say it didn't work the way I planned on it working. So I found a spot that, I'm not going to tell you where, on the guitar, that I did my little test on, and like I said, the test failed. So what I got going on over here, I've got a couple set of these little tiny bits that you can use for Dremels, and these things are really great. I'm glad I got them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a pointed one, just a little pointed one. It's supposed to be diamond grit on the tip of these. I'm going to put it in my Dremel, lock my Dremel down. Just going to hand tighten it. I'm not going to do a high RPM with this because I don't want it to burn or melt the finish that's already on here. And what I'm going to do is basically gouge out the original crack that's there. So if you're going to gringe your teeth, start gringing now. So I've got my super glue. Oh, sorry if I've been saying crazy glue. Super glue. And what I'm going to do is just dab it in that crack, kind of build it up a little bit. And this is actually showing me if I cut deep enough, because if I didn't, there'll be still a line there. So what I'm going to do is keep scraping this. Until I don't see any more of a line. Just add a couple more drops to this and see where it falls after that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let that dry. I've got these two spots over here I've already done, and I can actually add a little bit more crazy glue to the top of those so I can build them up.
Several days later.
Alright, so I am back at this again. Gave it some time to dry. Hopefully I didn't put too much too fast on there, because the bad thing about crazy glue is that if the first layer is not dry and you put a second layer on top of it, it's not going to dry very well. Sorry, super glue. Keep on getting those two mixed up. So I've already got my razor blade set up, and I'm going to go ahead and start to kind of knock down the high spots here with just using the razor blade. Now I have the tape on there, so it's not going to cut a lot of it off at one time. It's just going to skin the tops of the glue, just like that. This one here too. Now you want to try to go with the flat spot of the body when you're doing this. So if you go on an angle with the say like this, because there's a curve inside here, you can gouge out more than what you want. and that'll leave you with a small divot in the body of the guitar. So what I'm doing is just cutting off the real high spots of this, and I'm going to scrape it in a few minutes because this makes it a lot easier to do your scraping. Alright, so I'm going to start scraping this, and I'm going to go away from the hole when I do this. And if I got to add more, then I'm going to have to add more to it, but which I already think I'm going to have to in some spots. I didn't want to go too fast with this at one time. Now I'd rather use these razor blades that are triangle than the thinner square ones, because these are a lot more stiffer. So if I'm putting pressure on the razor blade, I'm not bending it or arching the center of it, and I'm not going to gouge out more than I need. And again, the tape is helping me to keep me from scraping more than just the crazy glue, super glue, crazy glue, super glue, whatever you want to call it. Alright, so you can kind of see I might have to add a little bit more to that. Not a big deal. So what I kind of noticed over here while doing this is that because of the thickness of the finish itself, that crack goes all the way down to the wood. And using the Dremel to get rid of that mark, that little line from the crack, you have to go basically right on top of the wood and be very careful, because if there is a finish on your guitar where it's colored or stained or whatever, you'll be restaining that crack. So got to judge really carefully how far down you go with that Dremel. Now I got right on top of the wood with this, so I'm hoping when all this dries and said and done, I don't see a mark.